Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Tonight we're talking about Clio's workflows, which they call task lists. And there's really a better way to add them to your matters. So let's take a look. If we come over to the screen here, you'll see that whenever we create a new matter, I'm going to go ahead and show you that here. We do have the opportunity down here at the bottom to go ahead and add in a task list. And that's a perfectly fine way to do it at the beginning of a case. We can stick it in there. You may have seen this before when you were editing a matter, and you can do it that way as well. But there is a better way. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that tonight instead of having to add it at the beginning of the case or when you're editing a matter. So let's go ahead and head over to the task screen. So if I click on tasks in my left-hand menu bar, and it's going to take me to my lists here at the top I can click on. And once I've got my lists in front of me, I can see the different lists, and we're going to use this uncontested divorce as an example. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this task list. Now, you may see when you're creating your own task list that you can assign lists to, or I should say tasks, to a person or to the list assignee. Now, if we're always assigning them to a person, then that works great. We can assign the list at the beginning of the case, or we can go in and edit the matter and drop the list in there, because the Clio is just going to take and assign the task to whoever the assignee is. But if we're using this list assignee, then we need to be able to tell Clio who to assign this task to. So in order to do that, we go back to our lists, we find the list that we want to use, and we click on Assign. And when we click on Assign, we can go ahead and tell Clio who the assignee is. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click my associate attorney. And now any task in the list that uses list assignee will be assigned to my associate attorney. The tasks in the list that were assigned to me or to an individual will still be assigned to that same individual, but now the list assignee tasks I can assign to someone. Now, when would we use this? This will come in handy so that we don't have to create multiple task lists of the same kind. So if I have a motion to dismiss, and this week I'm going to have my associate attorney work on it. Next week I might have my paralegal work on one on a different case. Then I can go ahead and use that same list, and each time I assign it to a case, I can put in who I want to be the list assignee. And so again, my tasks that I've assigned to myself or to certain people will still turn out assigned to them, but anything that says list assignee will go to this person. Now, when you're using this method, don't forget we do have to type in the matter, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a matter here. And we also are not going to click on replace all assignees in the list. If I do that, it's going to give everything to my associate attorney. Well, I already built in some tasks for myself and other members of my team, so I don't want to do that. Unless, of course, I am intending for them to do everything on the list, then I would check that box. And then notify assignees via email. I typically will not check that box. I don't want to give people more email. I want them to be checking their task list regularly so I don't have to send them additional email. The due date here is the date the list is going to start. So if I drop in the list today, the first task will be assigned today and they'll build off of that. However, let's say I don't want to start this list until next week. I can go ahead and put in here the 13th instead, in which case the first task will fall on the 13th and everything else will fall after that, depending on how I have it set up. So I'm going to go ahead and click Assign My List. And now if I go into that matter, we can come here and look at the tasks in there. Oh, we've got we picked one with lots of tasks. Our list started right here. You can see on the 13th is when we put the due date in there. And you'll see most of the tasks have been assigned to my associate attorney right here. We've got a couple that have been assigned to me because that's the way that I built them in the task list. But now I can assign the list assignees to my associate attorney. I can now go into my next matter I want to do the same task list on, and now I can assign it to my paralegal instead. And now when it goes into the new matter, all these same tasks that were assigned to the associate attorney here will now be assigned to my paralegal. So that list assignee is a fantastic tool that we can use when we're building our task lists to be able to use them with multiple individuals. So for example, if you have multiple associate attorneys, you can use the same list and you don't have to build multiple lists. So I hope you find that helpful. Please do let me know what kind of task lists you're building. We'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much.